Julie here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Today I am going to have a little bit of an edit and explore in the new Aperty software, which is been designed in conjunction with Skylum, who brought us Luminar Neo, and photographer Julie Trotty. So I have been playing with this for a little while, and it's just had a new sort of update to it. There's a few things that have been changed and added. So what I originally did was I did a bit of a look in the beta version, which has been out for a little bit, and now I am playing around with the full version. So I've got this photo here of model Emily Reinhardt, which we took at Beautiful Gardens up at Wandon, and this was actually part of a workshop, and I'm just going to run through everything that I've got in here, and we're going to do an edit basically from start to finish. So this is the image I want. This is what Aperty looks like. When you bring stuff in, you've got your projects up there, you can add images, you've got a little erase and clone up here, and you've got a dodge and burn up here, but everything else is on this side. So you have got presets, and there's some creative and retouch presets, including some which have been created by Julia herself. Then there is a mask panel, and I'll use that a little bit later on to do a few things, particularly masking out, like changing the color of her nails, maybe just boosting up the saturation of these flowers and things like that. Then of course there is your crop, fairly sort of standard. I'm just going to do a 4x5 crop and bring that in a little bit, and you can flip it, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to hit enter, and that has cropped it. So then we've got your essentials, which is your curves, your color, the HSL, sharpen if you want to change it to black and white, noise reduction, things like that are in here. So you've got a standard curves panel, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a curve. I want to bring the yellows up just a touch, and maybe just a little bit more into the shadows. Vibrance, I want to boost it just a little bit, not too much, maybe about 5. Saturation, I don't want to boost that too much either, so I'm going to leave the saturation at probably 1 and the vibrance at 5. So there's a little bit of a color cast, but not too much, so I could remove some of that. And then you've got your HSL shift if you want to play with any of those, but at the moment I don't want to. I'm just going to do a basic edit. Now if I zoom in, there's a couple of things I do want to clean up that I can immediately see. So I'm going to go to my erase and clone. I've got it on remove after each stroke, so I'm just going to turn that off for the moment, and I'm just going to select, and there's a few flyaways and things like that that I want to get rid of. If you grab your space bar, you can move your way around your image. Let's just leave that for the moment, and I'm going to hit erase, so that will hopefully fix all of those. Sometimes you need to do it more than once to get the area as you like. It's not really doing a very good job there. So I'm sure you get the idea on how to use the erase tool. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get through it. You can also come in to the develop module in Essentials, and you can put in things like Adobe Standard if that's what you want to work with, which has put in my camera settings. You can play around, you can actually put in the camera settings, so if you want to do black and white and things like that, you can do that from there. You've got your camera profile. You can set your white balance, you can play with your temperature, your tint, you can play around with your exposure. I'm just going to zoom out so you can see what I'm doing a bit more. I'm going to drop the highlights down. I want to put a bit more contrast into the image, give it a little bit more punch. I can play around with the hues. I can drop that down and play around with the saturation, things like that. The Essentials panel. Then we've got the retouch panel, where if I zoom all the way up to the top, so it has actually identified that it's one individual female and there's a little bit of a mask there. I can come in, let's just zoom in, and I can do a little bit of blemish removal. Not that there's a huge amount there. Emily doesn't have any freckles, so I can do some skin smoothing. Now I could go all the way over, but it's just too much. Less is more, and she looks very, very sort of plastic and all the rest of it. So I'm just going to bring it down. I usually have been finding that I can do it sort of around about 25%. A little bit of face correction, I can do that too. I might even bring that one down a little bit more. Dark circles under the eyes, I can also get rid of that. So if I was to go before and after, I can brighten up her face. I can also remove some of the shine. This is another one which is really handy to use as well. So if you can see there's quite a bit of shine just on her nose and her cheeks and things like that. So now that has been reduced. So I can then come in and I can play with the eyes. I'm going to leave the original iris, but you can, if you want to, I can change your eyes so that they're more green or any other color, hazel. I'm just going to leave it original. You can then add iris flare. So I'm just going to go all the way up, so hopefully you can see. So if I zoom in, you can see where it's put that highlight in. So what I'm going to do is I want to bring that right back to probably 15. Maybe let's go to 25. I generally tend to find anything between about 15 to 25 sort of works quite well. I've got redness removal. There's not a lot of redness in her eyes, but I can. There's a little bit of eye whitening. I can probably pop that into eye enhancement. So that's before and that's after, just on the eyes. Then you've got the mouth, so you can do teeth whitening and brightening. Well, you can't see her teeth here, so we'll leave that. Makeup, so you can then come in, you can play with makeup. So you've got cheeks and nose or just cheeks. You can come in and you can play with the makeup settings. You can change the blush, you can change the color of it, or the tone of it, I should say, and you can change the height, etc. You can also play around with contour. So if you've got contour that you want to add in, you can add eyeliner. That's just done that. You can do eyebrow enhancement, probably a little too much, so I'm going to bring that back. Then you've got lips, so you've got saturation of the lips. She did have lipstick on, but it was quite soft and quite subtle. And I might just bring the tone up and maybe darken them just a touch. Sometimes you really just have to sort of play around with it and see what you think, what works. Okay, so that's in the retouching panel. Then you've got the reshaping panel. So you can, I'm not going to, but you can face, slim down the face. You can change the shape of the eyes, the eyebrow arch, the position. You can change the bridge of the nose, the mouth, the body, etc. I'm not going to go and do any of that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go into masking. So there's a couple of things that I want to do. I'm going into the masking. Okay, I'm going to go into the Essentials panel, and it has done a full image mask, and you can mask the person or you can mask the background. What I actually want to do is I want to mask her nails. So I could just mask the background and play around with that, or I could ask it to mask a person, and that will mask Emily and separate her from the background. And you can play around with your main subject and the background and edit them separately in both the Essentials panels and the creative panel. So that has actually masked her there. But what I want to do, like I said, I want to actually mask her nails. So I'm going to click on the brush. Now you can do radials or linear gradient masks. And I'm just going to paint that in. Now I'm being pretty rough at the moment. That's okay. So what I can do is, if to the minus, I can then clean up where I was a little bit messy. And I found that that's the easiest way to do it. Now what I want to do now is I want to come down to the hue panel and I want to change the colour of her nails. So I can make them a little more pink. I can change the saturation, the vibrance, so that they tend to sort of mix in with the flowers and things a little more. So if I was to show you before where they're quite orange and now they're more pink, probably just needs a little bit more of a clean up. I can add more, right, so I'm going to save that, call that nails. Now what I can do if I want to is I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I can do another one. I'm going to maybe try a radial. And again, I'm going to drop that, make them a little more pink. And you can do as many masks as you want. I think I'm going to go back to using the brush. And I'm just going to boost the saturation of these guys a little bit. So I'm just going to click save there. So this is before, this is after, before, after. Okay, so what I want to do now that I've gone through all that, I'm going to go drop down to the creative panel so I can start playing around with some lighting. I can, if I click show on canvas, the light button, I'm going to bring it up here a little bit. I'm going to bring that in. I can do light customization. So I can actually, and I'm hoping you can see where that is making some changes there. Going back to the creative layer. Okay, so now that I've turned the masks off, I can then come in and I can play with the bokeh in the background. I can change the brightness, the glow. I can change the depth direction. I can change the warmth, whether I want it warmer or cooler. And you can play around with that. The next thing I want to have a look at is some lookup tables, and it comes with several, so you can select different lookup tables. That Long Beach actually looks really nice. I'm going to click on that. You can choose the amount, so you don't have to have it the full amount. You can also boost the contrast and the saturation from there. You can do things like add film grain if you wish to. It's quite nice with just a little bit of film grain sometimes added to it. You can add a vignette, so obviously go to the right is white, but if you go to the left you'll put a little bit of a darker vignette around your image, and you can change how much inner light there is, the feather, the roundness, things like that. There is also high key that you can do. Not that this is particularly a high key image, but I could play around with the high key. There's quite a lot there that you can play with. So I could glow, I can add a bit of contrast, and that's pretty much it. So if I am to go back and look at where we started at, where the image, so this is the raw image straight out of camera. It was shot at twilight, so the light was getting a little bit flat, as you can see on her face, but she was a little bit shiny. Now we've added some warmth and some contrast and some beautiful light into the photo. There's some highlights in her eyes. I have done a little bit of retouching on her skin. Now if I wanted to, I could come in and do a dodge and burn. I could bring up some light, some colour. I might just bring, if I go up to the top, I just want to bring my highlights back a little bit because I'm losing some detail in her top. Like I said, I could come in and I could do some dodge and burn. I might perhaps do a little bit on her hair. Now that is obviously way too strong, so what I can do is I can come back and I can reduce the amount. So it's really quick and easy to do that. You can, if you wanted to leave it up there, you could also reduce strength when you're painting it. So you can either do it one way or the other. I find going at a higher strength and then dropping the amount back is quite good. I can do the same thing again. I can come in and I can do a burn on here, and this will be quite strong. Just around the hat and the flowers, and then I'm going to bring that right back. Tap that to turn it off. Go back into our before and after. I can copy my edits, so if I click on copy, I can then go to, say, another image, and I should be able to paste my edits there, and it will go through to the rest of the image. It's pasting it now. You just have to give it a minute to go through and load all those presets. Okay, so that's gone through and done that. There's still a little bit of cleanup I could do that wasn't on the other image. So for things like the erase and clone and things like that, I can go through and fix up. So it's quite quick and easy to go through and do a batch process on your images. So that's it for me today. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and having a look around Aperty. It is quite a good program if all you do is portraits and you don't particularly want to spend hours and hours editing. You just want to come in and do a quick simple cleanup, but have them look really, really nice and professional. Then maybe Aperty is a program that you would want to have a look at. So I found Aperty to be really, really good in just giving me beautiful, natural, professional portraits without mucking about too much in other programs like Photoshop or whatever. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time in YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.